Welcome to Align Christ-Centered Yoga. My name is Linda, and I'm going to be guiding you through your practice today. So my question for you today is, have you ever been to the mountaintop? To that place where heaven meets earth, where you have absolute clarity, your spirit is in complete unity with God. We live most of our lives in the valleys. And the function of the valley is to strengthen us and to prepare us for the journey. But we always are journeying up into that mountain, seeking that next mountaintop experience where we can be at one with God. The psalmist says, I lift my eyes up to the hills, for where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth, from Psalm 121. So as we travel up the mountaintop, how do we get there? From the book Love Heals, the author says, pack wisely. Ask yourself what you need to let go of to make the long, steep climb towards close communion to God. If you take too much baggage, you will fall under the weight of it, and the thin air and the push of the earth will make you feel like you can't catch your breath. To climb, we have to travel light. It is the first thing Jesus told the disciples as they were commissioned in Matthew's gospel. Do not take any gold or silver or copper in your belts, no bag for the journey or extra shirt or sandals or staff. The author says this, leave behind the chip on your shoulder, the old resentments, the critical thoughts, and the fears that keep you feeling stuck and unable to climb. As we come to the mat today, I would invite you to let go of the things of this earth that you do not need. And maybe that's emotional, maybe it's material, whatever the Holy Spirit brings to mind. Join me in this practice of surrender. Come to a sitting position if you haven't already. And if you have a block or a blanket, something to put underneath your hips to elevate them just a few inches, go ahead and elevate your hips. Find your sitting bones underneath your hips. Closing your eyes, begin to let the world fade away. Let go of the day behind you, whatever lies ahead. Begin to find a slower, deeper breath as we begin this practice of letting go. Focus on a slightly longer exhale. Pack lightly for the journey up the mountain. Begin to notice the way that the breath moves through the body, finding a little more length in the spine as you inhale. Letting the body just kind of melt a little bit as you exhale. What else can you soften? Forehead, jaw, hands, feet. Check in, notice what's going on physically today, what's going on in your body. Notice where you are mentally and emotionally. Notice where you are spiritually. Invite the Holy Spirit to guide your practice. Let the hands come down, and if you'd like to get a playlist going, maybe start that playlist. Let the chin come heavy down into the mat. And then just gently bring the right ear to the right shoulder. Chin forward, left ear to left shoulder. Can you stay connected to breath as you bring movement to the body? One more time, each direction. So as you're ready, bring that right ear to the right shoulder. Take a deep breath here. Maybe this is where you stay. Maybe you walk those left fingertips out just a little further. Maybe you bring that right arm up just above the ear, giving yourself just a tiny bit of pressure to ease into a deeper stretch. Can you use breath to create a little release where you're tight? As you're ready, let that hand come down. Chin forward, stay here for a breath. Let the breath grow heavy. Let the head grow heavy as the shoulders draw down and back. Left ear to left shoulder. And maybe walking those right fingertips out, maybe giving yourself a bit of an assist with that left hand. So find your edge in each pose. That place of tension, that catalyst for growth and release. But never struggle, never pain. As you're ready to release, let the hands come down again, chin forward, letting the head grow heavy. Take a deep breath in, allow the arms to come up, turn the fingers, interlace the fingers, bringing the palms to the ceiling, draw shoulders all the way up to the ears. And let the rib cage slide down the body. From here, look up, inhale, and look down, exhale. Can you find a little more release in the neck? Can you find strength in the shoulder girdle? And one more time, looking up, looking down. Bring the hands down to the mat. Then just bring that right arm over the left. Find a side bend. And come up and over and go the other direction. So back and forth here a few times. Just lift up and over, working from the inside out, from the internal obliques of the waist. Leading with breath, not movement. So next time that right arm comes over, stay there. Overstretch just a bit. Lift the hips and then let the hips sink down. Gently draw the shoulder back, draw the gaze up. Begin maybe to draw those bottom ribs in and up, finding a little more stretch in the rib cage. Nice big inhale. Come up and over, find a twist as you exhale. Left hand reaches across the leg, inhale tall. Draw the belly in and find your twist. So just a very gentle twist here. Just noticing what's going on across the back. As you're ready, come center. Bring that right hand to the mat. Bring that left arm all the way up and over. Reach, reach, reach again. Overreaching. And then anchoring that left sitting bone. Bring shoulders back. Gaze up. Draw the rib cage in and up. Find your stretch. Find release. Inhale all the way up. Exhale into your twist. Very gentle twist. One more inhale here. As you exhale, find your pose. As you're ready, release. Hands to heart, bowing your head. Pack lightly. What can you let go of today? Go ahead and come off the block or the blanket. Any props that you have, bring them towards the front edge of the mat. Let's start with that right leg in front, left leg behind you. Legs are bent at 90 degrees and you have a pinwheel here. So you're just going to lift and lower that back hip. Moving with breath, inhale forward, draw the belly in, exhale down. What's going on in the lower back, in the hips, in the glutes? Continue the movement of the hip. Bring the hand to the floor, and that left hand just comes over to the right fingertips and back to that foot. Just imagine that you're drawing in nice warm sand. Raise that arm up just below shoulder height. Bring it across. And change the rotation of the hand. So the palm is down as you come towards that other hand and up as you reach towards the foot. Maybe the gaze goes opposite the arm and you begin to incorporate a neck stretch into this. And one more time here. As you're ready, sweep the front arm up, press into that back hand, lift the body up, exhale and release. 2 more times here. Come up and stay up. Let the rib cage draw down towards the hips a bit. Maybe turn that top thumb to the back wall. Maybe lift the hips slightly forward and up. Exhale, release, bringing that arm around. And keeping the pinwheel, begin to lift and lower this back knee, or the front knee. So the back hip is still rocking, and you're lifting and lowering the front knee. Beginning to warm up the muscles of the back. Add the body into this. Drop the head, the shoulders, the rib cage, and arc back up again. So as you move the body, think about using a wave-like motion. Coming down over that leg and retreating. One more time. Bring the body over that front leg. Bring a prop with you if you want one. Begin to come down to your forearms. Check in here. Just notice where the stretch is in the hip and the back. Support your head. So for some of us, it's better to have a prop. Another option is just to stack your fists and put your forehead on your fists. Some of us can come all the way down to the floor. So how far down you go doesn't matter. Adjust the pose for your body today. Find the pose with breath. A little more length in the spine, space between the vertebrae as you breathe in. A little heavier on that exhale. 2 more breaths here. As you're ready, release, pressing into the hands, rise up. Switch the legs. Pinwheel is in the other direction, lifting and lowering that right hip in the back. Noticing the sensations in the body. Next time you come back, move that hand. It comes from the toes all the way over to the fingertips on the other side. Continuing to rock up and down with the hip. Noticing the response of the body in the upper back. And then as you're ready, raising that arm parallel to the floor. Rotating the hand, palm down as it comes to the hand, up as it goes back. One more time. And then pressing into that back hand, sweep the front arm up, lift up, and release. 2 more times here. And then come up and stay up. The shoulders come down, draw the belly in, soften the rib cage. Maybe you're looking down, maybe you're looking up. Hips come slightly forward and up. And as you're ready, release and come back. Lift and lower that front leg. Back and forth here. Rocking through that back hip. Massaging out the glutes. Add the body into the motion. Dropping the head, the shoulders, the ribs, rising back up again. Exhale forward. Inhale back. As you're ready, knees come down. Hands to either side of the leg, draw forward. Again, come to the forearms first and just check in here. And decide, are you going to support your head on a prop, on your fists, on your hands? Maybe you can flex your feet a little bit more, drawing the toes towards the knee. How is the stretch on this side different than it was on the other side? What can you let go of today? One more breath here. Pressing into the hands, rise up. Come forward onto your hands and your knees. Find tabletop position. Spend just a moment here. Just checking in, finding the pose. Wrists underneath the shoulders. Elbows turned in towards each other. Shoulders externally rotated. Neutral position of the spine. So many of us tend to maybe round the shoulders or overarch the back. And can you find that neutral position, head in alignment with the spine? From here, find cat and cow. Exhale, draw the belly in, cat. Inhale, chest comes through the hands, looking up, cow. 2 more times, cat to cow. As you're ready, meet me back at table. Draw the big toes together, bring the knees out to the side, bring your hands one handprint forward, and begin to drop the rib cage and the forehead down to the mat. Hips will stay high. So as the head comes down to the mat, the forearms also press into the mat, and imagine that your fingers are reaching towards one edge of the mat and that your toes are reaching towards the other edge of the mat. Breathe into any tightness in the inner thighs or the groin. about the position and the curve of your spine and memorize this as your downward facing dog back. Press into the hands, one hand underneath the shoulder, then the other. Bring one knee in and then the other. Curl the toes underneath, bring the knees up into the rib cage. Shake your head out, no. Shake your head out, yes. See if you can recreate that curve of the spine in downward facing dog, and then slowly begin to move through the legs and the feet. So just bending the knees, moving the hips, rolling from the ball of the foot to the heel. On that next inhale, heels rise. On the next exhale, heels draw towards the mat. Stay here for 2 more breaths, just noticing what downward facing dog is telling you about the physical state of your body today, maybe even about attitude, the mentality that you're entering into in this practice. Go ahead and take that right leg up to the sky, heel to hip, knee to sky, flex the foot and draw the knee up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath here. Begin to draw those hip points forward and up. Let that heel press towards the back wall. As you inhale, lift the leg up to the sky, gaze comes forward, foot comes all the way through the hands. If it doesn't get there, no worries. Pick up that foot and bring it along. Maybe props will help you. Drop that back knee down and up. Warming up through the psoas muscle on the left side. Engage through the abdominals, keeping weight out of the wrists and the hands. As you're ready, let that back knee come down to the mat. Bring the props out of the way, push them forward. Slowly toe heel that front foot until the heel is on the side of the mat and the toes are angled forward off the mat. Knee over ankle, hands underneath the shoulders, wrists under shoulders. For a moment, just drop into that back hip. Find the stretch in the psoas muscle. Engage through the abdominals, draw that back hip back just a tiny bit. Maybe find a quadricep stretch as that back knee rises, as the back knee bends and the foot rises. Maybe bring that left hand to the center of the mat and raise the right arm up. So at any point, own the pose as yours. No need to go further unless you want the extra challenge. Bring the hand back to the foot. If you're here, the foot presses into the hand presses into the foot. Find your breath. Let that foot come down, bring the arm up. Gently walk the foot back to center. Bring the blocks behind the ball of the foot, curl the toe under, raise that back leg up. Begin to straighten and bend the front leg. So you are just straightening out to that point where there is a bit of a stretch in the hamstring. Tension, but not struggle. And as you're ready, find the hamstring stretch that's right for you. Drop that back hip down. Point all 10 toes towards the front of the mat. Shake your head out, no, and yes. Release any tension in the neck. Imagine that hamstring muscle lengthening and releasing. On your next inhale, bring the knee over the ankle, move the blocks off to the side, and bring the back foot up to meet the front, knees deeply bent. Forearms to thighs. Find neutral position of the spine. From here, exhale, find a cat stretch. Inhale, find cow. 2 more times here, cat to cow. Come back to a neutral position of the spine. Let the hands come down in between the feet. Rise up into mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart. Interlacing the fingers, bring the palms out. Rise up. Let the shoulders stay down. Find a back bend here. One more inhale. And on that next exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees. Let the head come down. Shake your head out. No and yes. Rib cage touching thighs. Hands to the mat. Bring the feet back. Find plank. Stay in plank for a breath. And let the knees come down and come through either low plank or grasshopper as you come to the mat. Sphinx or low cobra as you find a back bend. Exhale back to child. And meet me in downward facing dog. So check in and notice. Does one leg perhaps feel a little bit longer than the other, a little bit more release? One side of the body different from the other? Same sequence on the other side. Left leg rises high, flex the foot, heel to hip, knee to sky. As the foot presses back, the hips reach forward. That back heel, that right heel reaching down towards the mat. Inhale, leg rises up to the sky. Exhale, bring the foot in between the hands. Using those blocks, if it's better for you, another option is to come to fists, which can provide a wrist release. Back knee drops and lifts. And then as you're ready, just let that back knee settle to the mat, top of the foot to the mat. Gently toe heel that left foot out, heel to the mat, ball of the foot off. Wrists directly underneath shoulders, front knee over the ankle, drop into that back hip. Find your stretch here. Exploring options if you want them. Maybe that back leg rises up. Pull the hip back just a tiny bit. Bring the right hand to the center of the mat. Maybe that left arm reaches high. Maybe you want a little bit deeper stretch, finding the foot. Foot presses against hand, hand presses against foot. Stay here for 3 breaths, or in whatever pose you found. As you're ready, unwind. Slowly work yourself back, bringing that front foot to the full mat, toes facing forward. Block behind the big toes and the little toes. Curling the back leg up, raise the thigh to the sky and begin to straighten and bend your front leg. Back and forth here. As you're ready, find the hamstring stretch on this leg. Again, perhaps dropping that back right hip, drawing that left hip crease towards where the ceiling meets the wall behind you. Find the bend in the leg that is right for you. Tension in that hamstring, but not struggle. Release the tension in the neck. Shake the head out, no. And yes. As you're ready, that front knee over the ankle. Move the props out of the way. Back foot rises to meet the front. Forearms to thigh. From here, this time finding chair pose. So engage through the abdominals. Keep the back where it is. Bring those arms up. Draw the shoulders back towards the hips. Nice strong body as you rise up. Legs stay bent. Gently rock forward towards the balls of the feet. Rock back towards the heels. Find that place at center. Inhale, rise high, mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart. Stay here for a breath. Bring the arms all of the way up. Hold on to that right wrist. Come up and over to the side. So think about that stretch that you had earlier. Coming at it now from a different position of the lower body. Can you find that deep, long stretch from the hip to the shoulder, shoulder to wrist? Maybe press a little heavier into that right foot. As you're ready, release. Bring the hands down. Finding a wrist release, cup your hands and turn them inside out. Arms rise high. Hold on to the other wrist and come on over. That left arm reaching, reaching, reaching. And maybe pressing a little bit into that left foot. Maybe drawing the gaze up, the shoulder just a bit back. Ready, release. Hands to the small of the back, just find your back bend here. One more breath there. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, and then straighten and bend the knees 2 more times and begin to find the right forward fold for you. Anchor into your forward fold, take a breath. Keeping the feet flat on the mat, bend the right knee. Can you find a stretch in the iliotibial band on the outside of the left leg? Bend both knees, drop your hips. Raise the hips up again. This time bend the left knee. Can you feel the stretch in the outside of the right thigh? One more inhale. So on that next exhale, bend the knees. Find your forward fold one more time. Full forward fold for a breath. Hands to shins, rise up, back parallel to the floor, neutral position of the spine. Exhale down, find plank. From plank, work your way down to the mat. Collarbone rises. Exhale, find your way back to child. From child, meet me in downward facing dog. And once again, just check in. Be intentional about finding the curves of the spine, engaging the muscles of the legs, reaching from the front edge of the mat to the back. Pack lightly. What do you need to let go of today? Right leg rises high. Heel to hip, knee to sky. Open up. Can you keep the shoulders square to the mat? Inhale, raising that leg to the sky, drawing the gaze forward. Bring the foot all the way through. Rise up into lunge. Find your lunge. Bring your right hand to the small of the back, left arm across. Deep breath in. Find length in the spine. Exhale. Find twist. Stay here for 2 more breaths. As you're ready, release. Arms rise high. Find your back bend. And then exhale, hands to either side of the foot and pivot towards the wide side of the mat. Start with the toes facing straight forward. Just find a forward fold that feels good for you. So support yourself with your hands or your arms. Keep your legs in a soft extension, no hyperextending of the knees. And as you're ready, press into your hands. Turn your toes out towards the corners of the mat. Begin to just very gently lunge right to left. And can you track the hips straight across? So imagine that your hips are brushing against a wall, not moving forward or back. And the knees are coming straight towards the ankles rather than coming towards the center of the mat. So as you're ready, lunge over to the right. Bring that right hand to the inside of the leg, pinky finger right at the base of that big toe. And then begin to flex, if you choose it, if you want more, flex that left foot. Engage the muscles of the leg. Stay here. 1 more breath. As you're ready, release. Hands to center, just lunge side to side. And then same thing to the left. So again, just bring the pinky finger to the base of the big toe. Right wrist is underneath the shoulder. Left knee over ankle. Maybe that right foot flexed. One more breath here. As you're ready, release. Come to center, lunge side to side. So one final stretch here. Turn the toes forward again and turn the hands backwards. So fingers reaching towards the heels, just begin to walk the fingers behind the legs. Let the head come down. So again, it will look different for each of us. We are all anatomically unique. And as we're ready, turn the fingers back. Go ahead and pivot, bringing the front foot towards the front of the mat, rotating through the back. Go ahead and bring the front foot to the back, find plank. And from plank, come down to the mat however you choose to do that. Find your back bend of choice. Meet me in downward facing dog. Checking in, again, just noticing the right side of the body compared to the left. Next, inhale, left leg rises high. Heel to hip, knee to sky. Open up with breath. And that next inhale, bring the leg back up, straight up behind you. Gaze comes forward between the thumbs. Engage through the abdominals. Float that foot all the way through your hands. Rise up into lunge. Find the lunge that's right for you. Maybe that front shin comes another inch towards the front of the mat. Maybe that back leg rises another inch. Left hand to the small of the back, right arm across, deep breath in, go tall, exhale, find twist. One more breath here. Inhale, arms rise. Stay here for a breath. Find your back bend. Stay here for a breath. Exhale, hands to either side of that front foot. Pivot, toes face the side of the mat. Again, finding the forward fold. Whatever forward fold feels right for you, stay here for 2 breaths. On that next inhale, press into your hands. Bring the hands to center, heel, toe, the feet in towards you. They're going to be just wider than the hips. Okay, so just a little bit wider than hips and shoulders. Turn the toes out just a bit. Coming into a yoga squat. So some things to think about here. How low is right for your knees and your hips? Maybe for you, just coming down to a block is enough, right? For some of you, some of the rest of you may be dropping hips down towards heels. Raise the collarbone up. Find it. Maybe hands to heart. Breathe in. Breathe out. You can have a block underneath those hips if that's better for you. 2 more breaths here. Hands to the mat. Let the weight come forward just a little bit. Lift those hips. Go ahead and pivot towards the front, but bring the front foot to the back and find plank. Stay in plank for a breath. And just bring the knees down, hips to heels. Child to table twice. And then hips to heels, come back into child and stay in child's pose. So stay in child's pose wherever you landed for 2 breaths. And then consider as an option, big toes together, knees out just a little wider, but keeping hips back towards heels, forehead to the mat or block. One more breath here. You're ready to press into your hands and come back. Bring your hips to the mat. Bring your legs forward. Bring your legs wide, hands behind you, and just gently drop the knees right to left. Roll over the hips back and forth. As you're ready, drop both legs over to the right. Just explore what's going on in the gluteus maximus on that side and find a tight place and come up beside it and massage it out. So you're not right on top of that tender point. You're right next to it. Go up and over the other direction. That's kind of just a general rule or a general principle if you use rollers. You like to roll your muscles out, just come beside those tight places. Back and forth a couple more times. And as you're ready, bring the knees in. We're going to keep the blocks out of the way, so won't be using them anymore. Hands behind the legs, come down, move any hair pieces or anything that will get in the way of your head, just being flat on the mat. Take a nice deep breath here, let the shoulders settle down. Notice the way your body has settled onto the mat. Bring the right leg across the left. Hands underneath the small of the back. Find the arch, the natural arch of your lower back. Engage the abdominals and maintain that arch as the legs rise. You can stay here, or maybe you can use your hands to support the legs. If you want a little more stretch, that left hand can come to that left thigh, gently, slowly bringing that knee away from the body. As you're ready, release, let that foot come down to the ground. Continue that right leg the rest of the way over. So now knee is over knee. Take out the space between the calf muscles. Hands out to the side. Gently bring both legs over to your left. So you're twisting in the direction of the top leg. Maybe turn your head and look in the opposite direction. One more breath here. Draw the belly in, come back to center. Raise that top leg, so for me it's my left. Press that foot towards the ceiling. Just find your hamstring stretch, whatever feels right. Go ahead and circle that foot around. Circle it the other direction. Flex the foot, engaging the muscles of the leg if you choose to, if you think it would feel good. Tuck your chin, draw your nose towards your knee. Stay there for a breath. Exhale the upper body down.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Hands come out to the side. Slowly bring your foot to the mat. Extend the other leg. Closing your eyes, just check in. Notice the way the left side of the body is connected to the mat compared to the right. So repeating that sequence on the other side. Left leg bends, right leg comes over, ankle across knee. Hands in the small of the back. Find that neutral position of the spine. Engage the abdominals, flexing the feet. Draw the legs up and towards you. Maybe you stay there. Maybe you bring the arms to support the stretch. Make it your own. Can the shoulder blades stay heavy on the mat? As you're ready, bring that back leg down. That top leg comes across. Hands out to the side, gently moving towards the right in the direction of that top leg. Go slow. Find the stretch that's right for you. And turn your head and look the other direction. Gently draw the belly in. Bring the knees back up. Find the hamstring stretch in that top leg. For me, that right leg. Go ahead and flex the foot and just draw that circle with your toes. Go the other direction. And just exhaling, find the hamstring stretch. And maybe tucking your chin, drawing your nose up towards the knee. Gently let that upper body come down, hands out to the side. Slowly lower that right leg. Left leg comes down to the mat. Again, just notice the way the body has settled into the mat. There may be asymmetry. Maybe that right leg now longer than the left. So just kind of restoring our bodies back to neutral. Go ahead and draw your knees in. Give yourself a hug and rock side to side. Big toes together, take hands to knees and circle the knees opposite each other. Bring the knees in and towards you and then away. Then as you're ready, go the other direction. Bringing the knees together, gently bring the knees into the rib cage and then push away from the rib cage. Just restoring the lower back to a more neutral position, a more natural arch of the back. And as you're ready, feet to the mat. Extend the legs long. Bring hands all the way up to the ceiling. Reach as high as you can. And then as you exhale, arms stay straight up. Just let those shoulders thump to the floor. 2 more times, inhale up, thump down. 1 more time. Let the hands come down to the hips. Open up, palms face up. Turn your head side to side, top of one ear, up and over to the top of the other. Settle your head at center. Making a fist, balling up your feet. Tighten every muscle in your body. Inhale. What can you let go of physically, materially? Exhale, let it go, relax. Inhale, tighten everything up. What can you let go of mentally? What are the barriers between you and moving forward? Attitude. Exhale. One final time, tightening every muscle up in your body, legs, hips, quadriceps, abdominals, maybe even your jaw and your face. What is standing between you and God right now? What can come crashing down? Exhale, let go, release. As you settle into Shavasana, let the body grow heavy. Let all of the things that you have released today fade into the distance and disappear. Gently bring yourself back to this time and this space. Feel the way that your body has settled onto the mat. Reconnect to your breath. Gently begin to bring movement back. Wiggle fingers and toes. And rotate wrists and ankles. Turn your head side to side. Take a deep breath in, bringing arms up and overhead, and just stretch as long as you can. And as you're ready, draw your knees in and roll over onto one side, supporting your head with your arm. Take a few breaths here. On that next breath, come up to a sitting position. Find your sitting bones. Eyes still closed, check in. Pack lightly. What have you let go of today? Take a deep breath in, arms rising high, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart, bowing your head in prayer. Holy God, you are all we need. We trust that you will nourish us, that you will provide for us in all of the ways that we need. Jesus, we thank you that you walk with us, and we thank you for your command to take nothing with us. Help us to loosen our grip on this world as we follow you, as we love your people, and as we shine your light into the darkness of this world. It is in the name of Jesus the Christ that we pray. Amen. Thank you for joining me today.